Hey everyone, welcome to Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason,
I'm Jordan.
and this week we're going to talk about a bunch about tequila stuff, but even though
Lackluster.
yeah, we didn't have much in terms of a lot of
More
drinks
research will
out
be
there.
done, and then we'll come back and talk about that.
But with that being said, we do have some.
I guess the only thing I learned was that I still like tequila.
Tequila's delicious. I mean, you know me, I used to drink that stuff straight all the
But
time.
you know what I mean? Like, even between you and Lauren, like, I called out, this is how I think it's gonna go. And then drink by drink, or tequila by tequila, yeah.
We'll expand upon it. Well, maybe we'll do some mezcals in it. Maybe we'll.
This is not already working on shit like that.
Oh, I know you are. It's just a matter of.
I'm working on a drink that's a combination between a margarita and a sex on the beach. With ginger.
Okay. Okay.
I did make an El Diablo, which is not spicy at all.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you add to it to try to make it spicy?
It doesn't need to be spicy. It's free. I just feel like the name's misleading.
Mm,
It's literally,
okay.
it's tequila, lime, creme de cassis or whatever the fuck it is. Basically, it's a black currant liqueur.
How would that be spicy?
The name is El Diablo. I'm not making that shit up.
That's okay. That is definitely misleading. Oh well. Let's get into some conversation starters. We'll try to throw our quick review of Shazam in there somewhere because I don't think we have done that yet. And then we'll get to all of our other topics for this episode. Starting off with just recently, according to Deadline, Netflix turned around and announced the cast lineup for their upcoming
racist.
live action.
The guy named Jet Black, they cast a black guy.
Yeah, it's Cowboy Bebop is what we're talking about. No, it does not star
Keanu
Reeves, even though he's been
wanting
championing
that,
that for
years.
But you know, I'm fine with this lineup. Let's just go through it real quick. John Cho is going to be playing Spike Spiegel. Mustafa Shakir is going to be he's Bushmaster from Luke Cage. He's going to be playing Jet Black. Daniela Pineda, I guess you say her name. She's going to be playing Faye Valentine. And Alex Cassell is going to be
Park a Mack truck between those things.
playing Vicious. So everybody's saying, or a lot of news articles are saying, it's a great international cast. I just want cast to do well for the character, not to say it's a good plug line for the industry.
Well, not to sound like a dick, but that's something we're kind of headed towards. And I want to...
We're already at that point.
I want to, like... part of me is like, no, stick to what we know, or, you know, at least... But it's like, I
Stan Lee with Spider-Man.
Well, not even that. I feel like I'm just going to come off being racist.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to be good at it, fucking that's cool. I don't care.
Yeah. It just matters if the actors can actually play the part convincingly and actually bring something to the role, not just,
well, dude,
I'm here to fulfill
a couple weeks back, I think it was fucking Dean Cain. They asked him about Superman being black, or more specifically Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
He's like, that's cool. But as long as you realize on that same token, that means you can have a white Black Panther.
Yeah.
And everyone fucking lost it and called him a racist. And I'm like, no, that's fair play.
That is fair play at that point. I mean, I don't know.
Remember how butthurt people got when the Ancient One was white?
I think they were just pissed off because of the casting.
Well, she was good at it, though.
She was good at it. But
it's like, I'm sorry, we could have had a small Asian white guy. Or, sorry, a small Asian guy. But instead you went with fucking Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. But you know what? She pulled it off.
Yeah,
I was fine with her as that. But I'm just saying that's the whole thing of people instantly looking at the cast as just
Scarlett Johansson
checking the boxes off to make sure the industry's going to be happy with this.
Well, even Hellboy, which comes out this weekend, had issues with that too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the one character they casted him, and it's like, well, he's Asian in the comics. Well, shit. They had to they scrapped the original actor they announced, and they brought in some Asian actor.
And I think that was just a bad call at that point. If your casting director made a choice, there's a reason you hired that person as a casting director at that point.
They have sweet handies. They earned it.
Yeah. Well, you know. I mean, it's not like they're trying to buy their way into a college or anything.
The only issue I have with that nonsense is the fact that, one, the fuck, Aunt Becky, you know better. Two, I fucking made that reference at work, and they're like, who? people are terrible. But like one of her daughters is an influencer, and she's like, my mom ruined it.
Even though her herself, and apparently one of her videos was like, I'm not here at college for school. I'm here for the college experience of parties and whatnot. I really don't care about the school whatsoever.
I like that it was USC, and someone made fun of her because one of the things she had in the background was the letters OJ.
Yes.
And like, does no one get why that's funny? But anyways, with this, like, I hope it's good. I mean, I only know.
I have to look at it this way: the fact that this is being made makes me excited.
No, it doesn't.
We have been burnt. Let me put my whole thing. You know me. I am a more of an optimist than you will ever be, especially when it comes to this type of stuff.
Death Note.
Yeah, that was
Sorry,
bad.
just in case this wasn't clear. Death Note.
It was horrible.
Which was also on Netflix.
Was.
And had colorblind casting.
Yes, it did.
And they said it's going to be amazing.
You didn't like William Dafoe?
He was the only good part.
Well, yes. Everybody else was god-awful. But I'm still glad.
Best part of that movie was the ending. The credits. Where it's just showing bloopers and, like, comedic outtakes. Where it's like, really?
Which was just them cracking up. It wasn't really...
But you know what I mean? Like, we just saw, like, this one guy murder and mastermind all these, like, deaths.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you end? Just show a bunch of these assholes fucking yucking it up for, like, 2 minutes.
All right. I'm happy the fact that they're actually trying at this point. Remember when they say comic book movies was going to be god-awful?
So you're fucking hoping for a law of averages.
Yes.
You give me enough shit, one of them's bound to be good.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. The fact that they're even trying. Would you rather them just turn around and say, no, anime, that's off limits. Manga, that's off limits. We're never going to try that.
It's Hollywood. It makes money. Fuck yeah.
So let them
we
go
haven't
for
heard anything about a fucking Attack on Titan one yet.
Oh, well, there's been 3 so far in Japan, but nothing over here yet. So
even those are not great.
No, they weren't. We actually saw them in theaters.
We did.
God, that was a god-awful, try to act like it's a horror film. But anyways.
That weird, like, white room with, like, the old jukebox.
I don't know what that was. That was probably the director smoking some weird-ass shit and basically going, I liked 2001 The Space Odyssey. Let's add that scene in
with
here.
The baby? Yeah, I want all of that.
Yeah.
You know those scenes that made people say, the fuck?
Makes him look like a visionary director. Yeah, I know. But I look at it as you have more and more chances for something to be really good out there. And if they take some of the top IPs out there, hopefully at least one of them is going to be good. Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite series of all time. If they ever decide to go forward with, I was going to say Ghost in the Shell, but we saw what happened with that.
Right off the bat, writer Chris Yost, Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
I mean, it says Thor Ragnarok too, but
yeah. I look at this and I'm being hopeful. Something has to be good. I mean, we're eventually going to get like a live action Ava movie. Weta has been working on pre-production for that since the early 2000s at that point. Where, there's been talk of a US-based live action Lupin the Third, which I think could actually translate very well. We know that they're finally kind of moving forward with Akira.
Yeah,
they're kind of moving
like a
forward
wacky
with
version of like
Gundam.
The Italian Job. And you have Lupin the Third.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy with this. I want to get this more out there, but I know a lot of people are going to say, don't you dare hurt my franchise. No. Let them try. They tried with Death Note. Parts of it were funny. The rest of it was god-awful.
No.
I enjoyed it.
No, you didn't. You're trying to say
I enjoyed William Dafoe's character. His characterization in that movie.
His like 10 minutes total screen time.
And that little
like
part
90 minute.
And that little part I liked. The rest of it was literally shite. We've talked about that before.
The movie was just shit.
Anyways, this is coming out probably sometime next year. Tomorrow Studios is the production company behind this. With this cast, I'm sure we'll start getting more information about who's going to do more of all the directing, because we already know it's not going to be just one director for every single episode of this series. So I'm hoping it does well. Hopefully they can move forward with this.
Bring back the seatbelts to do the soundtrack and we're good.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's move on to some trailers, shall we? Let's talk about the first trailer for the upcoming CG animated adaptation of The Addams Family. This is...
I love The Addams Family. Jess and I fucking grew up. Like, I remember renting the movies nonstop, or at least the first one like once or twice. The second one probably the same amount. I remember we rented the SNES game, and we couldn't even get past the first level. We just roamed around going, "What the hell is this?" But we were just happy to hear that fucking organ noise. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun. Like the best you can get with like the 16-bit
Oh yeah,
graphics.
16-bit, yeah. So the whole idea behind this movie is that the Addams family are trying to plan a family reunion while dealing with a supposedly scheming reality TV host played by Allison Janney. The character design itself they're trying to be reminiscent of the original cartoons, even though they kind of
the original comics.
The comics, yeah. But they kind of expanded and elaborated on a couple of the other characters.
No, I wouldn't say they just fucked with the contrast.
You think so?
Because again, the characters that were incredibly skinny are now ridiculously skinny.
Yeah.
And the characters who are fat are ridiculously fat.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I mean, good for Finn Wolfhard. Good to see him get work.
I mean, the trailer was a trailer. I didn't hate it.
I didn't care for Nick Kroll showing up as Fester. He sounded too much like Coach from.
He's gonna be everywhere.
That's fine, but he sounds like Coach from Big Mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's gonna be stuck in my head now.
You're welcome.
God damn it.
Fucking get good.
All right.
Hit that
Do we have a
screechy voice talking about his fingy? Or
the Addams Family anime
movie in the warm.
Comes out in the theaters this October 11th. Finally, with all of our conversation starters, we have news from Disney, which came out of their Investor Day, also known as, hey, all this shit.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Investor Day 2019. This had nothing to do with Star Wars Celebration, which actually starts tomorrow. No, it started today, because it's a 4-day event for that. This is separate. This is Disney telling, hey, you know all the stuff we've been teasing and talking about throughout the years? Here's some actual information about it, and they came with this giant news dump for it.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just kind of like everything they've teased and everything we've already kind of known.
They're just like confirming this is actually happening.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like the big thing I took away was the price point.
Yeah.
The fact that it's either $6.99 a month or $69.99 for a full year.
$70 a year for everything that they're going to be throwing at this, which is
that
everything
makes sense.
Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic, Fox. By the way, this is going to be the yeah, I know. You know, you fucking leech.
Have I hidden that fact?
Never. You never have.
I think when Jess finally told me, fucking cancel your Netflix and use my goddamn password.
Yeah.
All right, that's the final step. I'm officially a leech.
There you go.
Well, because everything else was like, dude, I'm going to spend $3 more and have the extra, like, 4 accounts.
That was me with YouTube Premium. That was me with Spotify.
But you know what I mean? Like, those,
Netflix,
you're like, it makes
Hulu.
more sense for you to save the extra $15 a month and just, I'll take the hit
yeah,
for the
for example, like Spotify Premium. If Jess and I bought ours separately, it's $20 a month. Or I can pay $15 and I have 5 accounts. So, might as well.
But that's what I mean, though. Like,
it makes sense.
A lot of those made sense. But this one...
This one's going to be a definite we're going to throw in there. So it launches on November 12th. Like Jordan said, it's going to be for $7 a month or $70 a year.
Which, to be honest, like that one, that's a fair price.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's kind of the big thing that I know people are worried about. Like the fact that they own Fox now. Like they're a gigantic fucking heavy hitter with the amount of content they can throw on there.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things they announced today was a lot of the content that's going to be on there now. But still going back to price, like if they would have told me it's $10 a month, I'd have been like, you have to give me some good fucking content.
Yes.
And the fact that like, oh no, it's cheaper than that. This is half the fucking cost of Netflix. And they're blatantly just like, by the way, all the shows you thought, and all the movies you thought, all those are all going to be on there.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we're also going to be throwing the entire Simpsons catalog on there.
It'll be exclusive.
Yes. We're also going to throw the shit that you were already expecting, like The Mandalorian. I'm blanking on everything else.
Mandalorian was actually going to be released day one.
Yeah.
Out on there.
But you know what I mean? There were other like things where they're just like, this is going to be our Disney Plus thing.
Yeah. They have a couple Marvel series that they've been rumored about, but now they finally have officially announced. One is Falcon and Winter Soldiers can get their own series.
See, I'm cool with that just because of that scene in Civil War where they were just fucking like buddy cops sassing each other
back
in
the bug, yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is what this is going to be.
Oh, yeah. I'm good with that. What about WandaVision?
Worst name ever. That's a terrible fucking name.
They could have done so much better with that. Not to mention, did you ever really feel
Loki. That was the one I couldn't remember.
The Loki one, yeah.
Which they confirmed. Yeah, it's gonna have Tom.
Yeah. Move forward with that. That's great. Pixar has
dude, they
some
announced
content for
two
it.
spin-offs to Toy Story 4.
Yeah, there's like a Forky thing, and then there's the Lamp Life short film. I'm always been a fan of the Pixar shorts. They already have the Spark shorts, the 3 that they had on YouTube. That was the start of a collection of short films that are going to be released exclusively on Disney Plus as well.
That's
cool. You have National Geographic doing a couple of original shows, including The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which is basically Planet Earth with Jeff Goldblum instead of Sir David Attenborough.
I literally hope it's just him. No script.
Just walking like, what's that? So that's
yeah,
that's a thing. Yeah,
watching some Nat Geo shit and just like, so yeah, life will find a way. Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep talking.
Yeah.
You keep telling me how I can go to apartments.com or whatever the hell you're trying to sell.
Anyways, other stuff that's coming out real quick. We already talked about Simpsons. All 30 seasons will be available day one. You'll get other stuff like The Sound of Music, The Princess Bride, Malcolm in the Middle. That'll all come out. They're basically throwing, according to this press release, more than 7,500 episodes and 500 films, including all their blockbuster hits, coming to this service for $7 a month. Yeah. And that's just the Fox side. We've done a little bit of the Disney side too. It's gonna be ridiculous. Plus, they're already talking about there's most likely a possibility they're gonna offer a package deal of Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu.
Oh.
For a discounted rate. That has potential.
Thank you for letting me steal your passwords.
Let's talk about our big topic. It was in the news probably about a week and a half ago. Everyone's had pretty much their say at this point. All brought to the forefront, I should say, by Google. And it's called GDC. They decided to hold a press conference, a keynote.
Okay.
And they were like, everyone's going, okay, they're going to have their own gaming thing. It's going to be a little tiny, Android-based device or something like that. No, they come out and say, this is called Stadia. And this is where you can play anything, anywhere. We're not even selling you a box. Whatever you have right now can work. You can play all your games over the internet on any device. So you can start a game on your iPhone or Android phone. You can turn around, maybe you want to play at a larger screen, so you play it on a tablet. Or, you can pause it, and continue right where you left off on your computer. Or if you want to hook it up via like a Chromecast or whatnot to your TV, you can continue to do so. Playing all the same game, seamlessly, 1080p, 60 FPS, HDR.
I can't wait to add you to my circles, bro.
Yeah, Google Plus.
Remember how well that worked?
Google is known for a lot of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. This doesn't have the same
no Nintendo
sense.
Google. Stop it.
Yes. But here's the thing, though. This is kind of where everyone else, aside from Nintendo, have been aiming to go towards anyways. This next generation is going to be dabbling into this. Well, we're kind of dabbling in it right now, but they're going to dive in more so next console cycle. And then after that, I don't know if we'll have another console cycle that will actually be the same of what we have at this point. Let me dive into Stadia real quick. So, aside from the ability to play all these games streaming, it's kind of like what you have right now with Steam. Okay. Or, I'm not going to talk about Epic Game Store because that thing's a fucking piece of shit. Or Origin. With this, you have all your games right there. Normally, you sit there, keyboard and mouse, or if you want to have a controller hooked up to your computer, you can play everything you want. You can also stream that locally to like your TV via local streaming, local link I should say, and be able to play just fine. This wants to take that farther and saying, that giant fucking expensive computer with all the expensive parts that you're trying to save for, that you probably can't afford the highest quality ones that'll probably cost you $5 to $10,000 to actually have the most premier experience at this moment. We're going to turn around, so if you have a Chromebook or an iPhone or any type of device with a screen and an internet connection, you should be able to play the top tier AAA games for it. I get where they're going at. I applaud them for going with that. There are too many questions at this point that I have to go.
Too many variables. Here's the problem I have. People who already have a console, guess what? They have a console. Yes. Chances are they have a console because they have a kid who doesn't give a shit about a computer. What they need is just something where they can pop in whatever Minecraft or whatever AAA, like Call of Duty, whatever, and the kid can go fuck off.
So
Or
Stadia helps them out with that.
Or you already have a regular person who already has a Steam account, and they can play on their computer.
I do like the fact, I'll give a plus for this, that with everything that you would potentially play with this, you're not limited to a certain box. That you have a PlayStation 4 exclusive, or you have an Xbox exclusive, or a Nintendo exclusive. With this, you can essentially just play it on anything and be perfectly fine. The opposite of that, though,
I don't imagine publishers being cool with that, though.
Some publishers are, and of course, it doesn't help the fact that, Google themselves turn around and say, we have our own game studio. But they keep on grabbing some top talent from everywhere anyway, so it could be good.
they can fucking afford it.
Yeah, it's Google.
But I mean, after all, what does it come down to? The fact that it's like, oh yeah, I want to play Spyro. Well, I have an Xbox. Well, fuck you, you're on your own.
Yeah, with those type of exclusives onto the platforms, they're never going to show up on Stadia. So, regardless of if you have a little.
But remember, why did I get a PS4?
You play some of those exclusives.
But all the PS games that I missed.
Which is, I think, is going to go away eventually. Not anytime soon, but it right now you're in that heyday right now.
But
has to be
is that you being an optimist though?
No, because I look at it as way as
you want them to give up their shit. Nintendo. You want them to give up their
Nintendo has started to give up their shit. They have started. Look, they teamed up with a game studio called DNA, D-E-N-A.
No, they've teamed up with.
Yes.
What makes you think they'd be cool with me having a PS4 playing the newest Mario game?
You never know. I think it's coming out to that point.
No.
Look what happened with Sega at that point.
They went under. They had no choice.
No, they had a choice at that point. They can continue going on with trying to make another Dreamcast 2 and move forward and try to compete with everything out there. And they already had the specs and plans for it, but they decided, you know what? It's better for us to try to get our games out there to more people, have it in their hands to play. Therefore, they were going to turn around.
Because they didn't want to go under.
But they also have to be able to say, we want more people to play our games. If we're not going to go into the hardware business and focus on that, what better way than to go software only and allow your game to be played by millions of people who would have never gotten around to play it because they didn't own the hardware at that point. There is a huge market, and that's the big thing why Google Stadia has a chance, because all those people, like you said, the kids want the parents want their kids just play Minecraft or something, or Call of Duty or something like that. Just get out of my hair and whatnot. If they can just hand them like a Chromebook or literally the Google Stadia controller, which connects via Wi-Fi, where it connects to this, you buy them a controller and then they have access to everything on any TV or their phone or anything like that.
Something's plugged into the back.
That is something.
We're assuming they have a smart TV.
No. You can throw whatever you want into this. Like, you can play it on your phone.
You're gonna need some dongle. Like, if you're playing shit on your TV,
you
need some dongle plugged into the back.
You can always buy a dongle for that, or you have a smart TV that has for that, or if you have a laptop you want to plug into that, or you just use it on your phone, or you play it on a computer. There are multiple ways. Maybe you just have a bare bones computer that you go use the Google Stadia to go through, and now you can play AAA games that you never would have been able to afford to play before.
When does this come out?
Later on this year.
Okay. I feel like we should bet.
You want to put a bet?
Because I'm willing to bet a year after the games, or the whatever. It's not really a game or a console.
A platform.
You know what I mean? Like, to call it anything other, I feel like that's platform is still even kind
arose
of
by the internet name.
Yeah. I feel like this is gonna crash and burn in a year. Maybe not crash and burn, but at the very least fizzle away to where people forget about it.
You have history to back you up on that, because Steam had their Steam controller and their Steam Link, which had moderate, middling, low success. But before that, there were other companies that have tried on this. Gaikai tried to do all this, and then they got picked up by Sony, and they got turned into PlayStation Now, which streams PS2 and PS3 games to your PS4. But I've yet to come across a single person who has actually bought that. You have, even before that, OnLive. So if it's anything
good, I wait for an HD remake.
Oh, there you go. There was another company called OnLive who tried to do the exact same thing we're talking about, but like 10 years ago. Way before we could actually do anything else. And before that, there was the Phantom at E3 when I went.
Jeez, how old is that? Even I remember Phantom.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was like in high school when that happened.
Ancient times. People have been trying to do this for years. But the only one that I think actually has a chance of making this work is Google. because given our time frame we're at right now, their availability of data centers across the world, for the most part, their cash flow, to be honest, they're a type of company who's willing to throw tens of millions of dollars, if not more, at a project.
They're basically John Ralphio. Why are you doing this? Because I'm flush with cash.
Yeah, basically at this point.
And that's fine.
Go
but
ahead.
they are a business, though.
Yes.
There's always the nerd. There's always the visionary that's like, we can make this work.
Yes.
We saw this. It didn't work. Let's improvise, adapt, overcome. All right?
Well played.
You can only do that so much before you realize you're drinking a cup of your own piss. Now, I have to wonder how long it's going to take for Google to realize this. Don't get me wrong. Much like Nintendo with everything they've done, they always want to try to be visionaries. They always want to try something new, something that might work.
Right.
But even they've launched out some turds.
Oh, of course, yes.
Rob the Robot. He only still exists because of nostalgia reasons.
That's only reason
I could
why.
go further back and mention things like the fucking Power Pad or the Power Glove.
No. You don't have to go that far back. The Virtual Boy.
That's progress, but yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, you want to try to revolutionize things, but not everything's going to be the goose that laid the golden egg. You hedge your bets and you hope it works out.
Right.
And I think that's what this is. I think they've probably done a fair amount of their research and they hope that it's going to work out. I don't see it working.
Okay, well, let's talk about some more of the details about it and its competition at this point. Here's another thing a big thing that Google's gonna have to try to deal with: ISPs, internet service providers.
Okay.
Comcast.
The devil.
Yes. No,
that's me. Satan's asshole. More correct.
There are many, many people in this country, and yes, we're going to focus on the United States right now. This is going to be eventually a worldwide thing, but let's focus on the states right now.
Like the regular Americans, it's all about me.
In this country, you have
we're trying to make video gaming great again.
I know we're kind of failing horribly.
Like you were waiting. You knew.
I knew he was coming at me at that point. There's a number of people in this country right now that have to deal with shitty ISPs who are providing what's technically considered broadband, so sub 25 megabytes a second service. Plus, they also deal with data caps. These people have a problem who trying to stream like YouTube and Netflix because they'll hit that cap within a week if they try to watch or binge a series on Netflix.
I was thinking like streaming a game.
What do you think is going to happen when they try to stream a game? Now, I got to imagine Google has people talking to all these ISPs about this at this moment to try to maybe zero rate a few things.
What's to stop them from being that?
Not much, and that's the other problem. Worldwide, and in other countries, you don't have to worry about that.
Are you defending yourself or adding to my own argument at this point? I'm confused.
I'm telling you there's some challenges that Google has to move forward at this point. That's what I'm bringing up.
It's like I said, you're literally just putting fuel on my argument. Like,
I'm playing both sides of the fence on
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Like, I would love to see this succeed. But there's some games out there, like if this is like an RPG or a platform or something like that, I could see that working just fine. The other thing that you have to worry about with all these ISPs, especially with the bandwidth here in the States, is latency and lag. I cannot imagine them trying to put like a Halo or a Call of Duty or any type of first-person shooter multiplayer game on streaming only. The amount of lag alone.
And like, fucking Detroit, we know it's basically a fucking war zone.
Yeah, exactly.
What chance does he have?
Yeah, how is that going to work? You're not going to get to those people at that point.
And it can't even be just plug in and put the disc in. He doesn't even have that option anymore.
No, it doesn't. I mean, here's the thing, though. They say they've done some amazing terms of compression that they could basically say, if you can work 25 megabits a second, which is what we consider to be basic broadband in the States.
Basic.
They can provide 1080p 60 FPS, which is impressive in its own right. If you can get 30 megabits a second, we'll give you 4K at 60 FPS. I'll believe it when I see it at that point. They say the lowest that they will allow it to go is 720p because their whole thing is that they turn around and basically state that our focus is frame rate first and then resolution at that point. When they did their test last year, they had Google Project Stream, where you can play Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I remember you were fucking geeked out about this.
And I played half of that game.
Even you came up to me with half a chub, like, Jordan, did you see this? Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you see it? I'm like,
yeah.
I don't.
So I gave it a shot. I played it both here. I played it on my break at work, on my shitty work computer and whatnot. I got through about half that game playing that. And there were times where I saw the resolution drop, but the smoothness never
that's
dropped
what's important
for
to me.
And that was brilliant for me. I absolutely loved that, and it opened my eyes to the possibility of it. But then again, I'm playing here, well, on a relatively shitty connection. At work, I have a probably better connection at that point. And yes, I saw the resolution drop a few times, but it never took me out of the game to the point where I was like, I can't play this anymore.
Well, see, here's the problem with that, Jason. Well, not really a problem. The reason. I can tell you right now, the reason why you're probably cool with it, you and I can remember a time where we can watch a single fucking pixel and be like, I'm an adventurer.
God.
We are not so easily swayed by good graphics.
Yeah. I mean, hell, look at the Nintendo Switch. One of my favorite consoles.
I am not an adventurer, Jason. I don't leave my domicile.
I love my Nintendo Switch. It doesn't have the most powerful graphics in the world, but it doesn't need to because it provides entertaining gameplay and funny dialogue and just fun games. Drags me towards the Switch far more than what I would play for any of the latest AAA games you come out for, like the Xbox One or the PS4.
Sorry, I feel like I just
Spider-Man
did cocaine having to do this, going. But I'm trying to fight off a sneeze. Sorry.
Come on, let's do this. Come on.
Rock. I'm still surprised to this day it took Platinum Games as long as it did to make an actual game for Nintendo.
That is true.
I've never known a studio and whatever a
platform
console,
publisher,
whatever,
developer, yeah,
to actually be like a more match made in heaven.
Yeah, no kidding. Like Platinum was focused for the longest time on like PS3 and PS4. And I'm like,
you realize you're like quirky and fun.
Yes.
Like you work well with these kids. You might have like your more adult themes with things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, by the way, Bayonetta 2, only for Nintendo.
Because Nintendo turned around and said, oh, you don't have enough money to complete it? Here's money. You're now exclusive.
And I get it.
And Bayonetta 3 is coming out exclusive to the Switch.
I knew so many goddamn nerds that were just like, oh, I'm buying a Wii U now.
Yep.
Brian Lamb.
Yep. Well, like, I remember playing Bayonetta 1. I was like, this is absolutely batshit insane. I love it.
Yeah. No, sorry. Platinum Games, didn't they also do No More Heroes?
Yes, they did.
Which is the first exclusive now.
They also had, it was like the Mighty or the 100 or something like that.
That was for Wii.
That was for the Wii. Yes, you were right.
That was Wii U. That was much later.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of, and I don't think it is, was Beautiful Joe.
I loved that game for the GameCube.
Henshin a Go-Go, baby.
I absolutely loved that. The fact that they integrated everything, all the film effects, to be part of your superpowers. Oh my god, I absolutely love that.
I mean, granted,
but it was
always
quirky.
use the
It was
slowdown.
fun.
You always use the slowdown. You never use the speed up.
Never did
But
use the speed up,
still,
yeah.
You're like, yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was so much fun. Oh, it's nostalgia right there.
Again.
Anyways,
I forgot what we were talking about.
we were talking about resolution at that point. So Google
You leave
basically,
me alone.
I know. So Google turned around and basically stated that they will not go any lower than 720p. Granted, the technology allows them to go lower than that, but they do not want to go lower than that. If you go lower than that, then you have some really bad problems with
what
your
happens
internet.
if your internet goes out?
And that's the other problem. You don't have access to gaming at that point. And that's the other thing that people are going to complain about. The only hardware you have for Google Stadia is a controller, which connects via Wi-Fi to your server, which we can talk about latency because now you have to press
So
a
there's
button.
no dongle into the TV?
There's a dongle in the TV to actually showcase the video.
Yeah.
But this controller goes directly.
It's supposed to be console and controller
It's supposed
in one.
No, it's not even console. This is just a controller that connects via Wi-Fi to the game server that you are connected to play the game. It's a weird ass thing, especially because they add a bunch of like Google Assistant buttons on it. So like if you're stuck in an area, it wants to press a Google Assistant button and say, "Hey Google, how do I beat this area?" And it'll pull up a YouTube video of how to beat that area.
I don't need that.
Oh, that's right. I have Google Home. It's over there talking to me
I say,
right now.
Jesus Christ! Did Google Home just answer you as you were saying that?
Hey Google Home, do you want me to play Stadia? Oh, I don't get it. Yeah, he doesn't understand. Okay, that's fine. But Google
So
Assistant,
you're making more of a case for me again.
I know.
Even when Google's like,
Google
I don't give a shit
Assistant
what
is
you're talking about.
built into this. YouTube streaming is built into this. At a push of a button, you can start streaming. But we've tried the streaming thing. We've had some fun with it, but it's not something we really want to do. But again,
It's more
we're
of
not
a novelty. I couldn't see myself doing that full time.
I couldn't. Those people who do like 12, 15 hours a day doing that, I can't. I totally can't at that point. We're not even gonna try to get into like VR for this type of shit because I can't even imagine what that's gonna be. But here's the final thing I want to bring up about this, and you will support me on this. Physically owning a game at this point is preferred over a digital library.
Correct.
You know me. I go back and forth about having a digital library. You know, Jess and I are huge proponents of movies anywhere. That we'll just like buy a Blu-ray so we have the digital copy.
I mean, granted, as much as I enjoy being a leech, I wish there were times where it's like, just let me buy this one so I can give you the code.
And you have
like as much of a leech.
You have at that point. You know, for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and stuff like that.
Yeah, the one.
Yes.
I still feel guilty. I handed you a stack of fucking like 30 movies.
There are dozens of reasons
and like
on those.
7 of them worked.
Yeah, I know. There are dozens of Blu-rays up on that shelf over there that I thoroughly enjoyed. I'm glad I bought it on Blu-ray so I can watch that basically anytime. At the same time, though, the benefit of me being able to go someplace and just stream pretty much my entire library wherever I'm at, I actually enjoy both sides of that.
You know, every time we've hung out recently, Jess brings up the fact, like, who the fuck was trying to watch Sandlot? Who the fuck is trying to watch this?
Yeah.
You realize that's me every time trying to show people, like, no, there's a thing called Movies Anywhere. You can add the shit, and you can watch these movies anywhere. Like, let me show you my phone real quick. Let me just show you this.
I've done that multiple times. Yeah.
Like I think I did it with grandma, coworkers, and Drea's roommate.
Yeah.
So,
but here's the thing though. That's with movies, and we both agree with that. We both like having a physical copy, but having the digital option is fantastic. Having both is preferred.
Okay.
With games, I'm kind of on both sides of the fence with this. Like for like the PS4, having a physical copy is what I want because you and I share games all the goddamn time on that.
As much as
that's
can.
Fantastic.
Except for Spider-Man. Thanks, Jess.
Yes. Thank you, John. Thank you, hun. Anyways,
I heard Jen. I think he tried to say Jen or Jess and hun at the same time.
And I got John.
Weird.
Anyways,
he wanted to ring the bell. He wanted to do something nice.
God damn it. Anyways, but when it comes to the Switch, I only have one physical game, and that's Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Because that's what came with it.
Everything else I have bought digitally on that.
Which one did you buy Mighty Number 9 with? Was that Switch?
Mighty Number 9, I bought Switch.
God, that game was shit.
It was absolute
not to
shit.
bring that old wound up, but that game was god-awful.
You knew exactly what you were doing. Anyways, I can play both sides of the fence on that. That it depending on on the console and the location, I actually can go either physical or I can go digital on that. Right now, a lot of people mostly preferred having a physical copy of their game, and I understand that. Google has to try to contend with that, and it's going to be kind of hard for them to do so because physical items aren't really their thing. They're all about your data in the
and
cloud.
That's fine. Like I understand, like physical copy and like digital copies. I can see the merits of both. I like the idea of not having the clutter and having everything just on your console.
Right.
But at the same time, I like knowing I own that fucking game.
Yes.
If I ever want to loan it to somebody,
here you go.
Are we not forgetting fucking E3 like 2 years ago?
With Sony, yeah.
This is how you share a game with the PlayStation.
Thank you. Yeah.
Complete.
That was it. And they did that right off the bat, and they made so many internet points off of that.
They did it to make fun of Xbox. But tried to do this.
But you remember, I was one of the few people who was like, I see where Microsoft is going with this.
Yeah.
Going the Steam route, and I am all fucking for it at that point. Because that is where things are going. Now,
because you'll still be that person that's like, give me the... Okay. You love special edition versions.
I do.
Give me the art book. Give me like the special DVD of special features.
Exactly, yes.
How are you going to do that in digital only?
You give me all those extra stuff too, but give me a download code.
Like an art book?
Yeah. Let me buy an art book
So
that
like
has
a weird PDF document to it?
No. Give me a physical art book, but then give me a code that I can download the game so I can actually play it. That's just me. I'm weird about that. While you're bringing that up, let me bring up what the competition's going to be doing about all this so we can move forward on this topic before we talk well more than we're already at over an hour at this point.
Whatever.
Um,
You edit this shit, so that's on you.
yeah, whatever at this point. Let's talk about Sony.
Okay.
Sony has made the announcement a couple weeks ago that they are going to stop selling digital download codes to third-party realtors.
Yep.
Specifically GameStop,
The devil.
Best Buy, even Toys R Us when they were back around in the day. So this whole thing is basically telling people that if you want to buy digital, you have to buy directly from Sony.
I'm cool with that.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Considering I know if I give Sony my money, they're going to give it to the actual publisher or themselves.
That is true.
Like the money is going to be appropriately distributed to the actual contributors.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's not like GameStop, where it's like, cool, I'm paying some zit-faced teen who's being forced to try to sell me issues of Game Informer.
Oh yeah. Remember, I did that for 3.5 years. That shit was.
So you know, but again,
Oh.
that's how. Again, I said that just specifically because you know.
Yep. So I'm curious though, with all of this, does this also affect the other biggest retailer of online game codes, Amazon? We'll have to see. But Sony basically turned around and said they're keeping download codes to themselves at this point. If you want a physical copy, you'll have to go to a retail store.
It would work out with Amazon. Amazon would find a way to make it work.
They will find a way for work at that point. They also have
Bezos has to find a way to make sure he's paying out his ex-wife of the year. Or the millennia, really.
She's making so much money.
Okay. My favorite thing about all of it was there was a meme that's like, oh, cool, Jeff Bezos finally divorced his wife. He has to work a total of 12 minutes to make back the money he lost because of it.
No shit. It's ridiculous.
But again, the fact that whatever money she took,
he's already made back.
Yeah, he already made it back.
And he's still the richest guy on the planet.
Not even that. The fact... Sorry, there's weird, like, hissing noises because there's a snake on TV. I thought it was just fishing us.
Oh, okay. Rightfully so.
But there's... Like, she could have gone for a lot more.
Oh, easily.
She could have fought. She could have done a lot of shady shit. But her whole thing was like, no, that's fine.
She still made,
I will easily settle out and just take, like, the $52 billion I made.
No, it was less than that. It was something like 5 or 6 billion.
Okay, but even then, hassle-free.
Billion with a B. And she turned around and said, "Cool, I'll give you all but like 25% of our X amount of shares in Amazon."
No, she gave him most of it.
No, she gave voting control.
Yes.
To all of it to Jeff, plus all of his interest in the Washington Post.
Which,
and
in all fairness, that made sense to me. Because for that reason alone, if there was any hint of scandal, their stock or everything would have fucking gone down.
Yeah.
So the fact she's like, no, you're good, sweetheart. I got a squeezy. And just, like, went on her way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, good God. You guys, like, did you just coordinate this?
Yeah. I mean,
like,
she's coming out of this becoming, like, the 5th richest woman in the world. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, we're way off topic at this point.
So anyways, we're talking about video games.
So Sony, they're trying to work on expanding their PlayStation Now service to include PlayStation 4 games that you'll be able to play. Because right now, if you buy PlayStation Plus, you get free games you can download from it. They're gonna start
like Xbox used to do.
They're gonna start working on expanding that to actually include games that you can stream at this point. Let's talk about Xbox. They're the big competitor at this point because they are working on cloud streaming tech called Project xCloud at this point to basically do the exact same thing. Hell, in May, in 2 months, less than 2 months, they are rumored to come out with the Xbox One S all digital version, which means it's the Xbox One S without a disc drive.
We did an episode on that, I think.
We briefly spoke about it, but we didn't go deep into this. So
because you would have a chub, and you're like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah. So they're going to stream the opportunity to stream or download all of your games on there. They also turned around and said that they're going to combine Xbox Live and their Xbox Game Pass, which is like PlayStation Plus, which allows you to buy into one package at a discounted rate, so you can download and stream pretty much their entire
But
library.
I want to point out the only person I know who actually owns, well, aside from you, but again, you.
Yeah, I know.
Mormont, the best one.
Jess is watching Game of Thrones, catching up.
Even though the fact that like Jorah, by the way, Jorah's the new Batman. That happened today.
I couldn't believe that was a thing.
Like, I sent that to you, but you never responded or reacted to it.
I've been training someone today, so I couldn't really respond to it. But I got on my break. I'm like,
oh, so anyways, just so we're not like talking in code. Again, we're off topic. Tequila. We all know there's that god awful Titan show on the DC universe thing, and today
Batman.
Yeah, today they announced that they cast Batman. They will have their own Batman in that show for Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. That's gonna be a thing. Okay, so overall, this is happening. They're gonna try to force it down our throats. Is up to the future to decide whether or not it's actually going to happen. Would you agree?
No, I think digital is gonna be more important, or a more prominent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see why it's gonna hedge out people like GameStop. Which
GameStop just needs to die.
Yeah, I really think it's on its last leg. The fact that everyone's starting to like, not so much.
Oh, I know about GameStop. So they posted their annual reviews one up. They had posted a loss of $650 million.
Well, people need to fucking subscribe to Game Informer, man. That's what's happening.
I am so glad I never have to talk that. Now, that being said, I actually do receive Game Informer because I, chill on that. But I actually enjoy what I get out of that.
Yeah,
do I need to have?
You're like one of those assholes with Playboy. Like, I just like the articles.
Fair enough. Anyways.
And someone who refuses to get rid of physical media.
I have been trying to do so. I've been limiting to the point.
You're cutting back.
I am cutting back.
Okay.
I'm not going to cut off.
You're making concessions so someone can still buy seasonal decorations and whatnot.
By the way, our lovely Easter decorations are provided by my wife. Just because, the next time we do an episode, it will be after Easter. So, I do love the fact that we went to Disneyland to do their annual Easter egg hunt.
She got spooky eggs.
Yes, they're all based from
The Hitchhiking Ghost.
Yep, from Haunted Mansion. Among you have Dumbo and of course Goofy.
And everything else, but still, she has spooky eggs, which is a weird thing to say.
So overall, how do you want to wrap this up for this story?
I think you need to decide on a bet of sorts for when your shit dies in a year.
You think whether or not
I think the new Google thing will die in a year.
I think it'll stick around. It'll provide a service, but it will not become a main competitor. Does that make sense?
I think it'll be far from that.
All right.
I think it'll fade away into obscurity, just like the Steam box or the Steam controller.
Clip that shit so you can pull that up. But you're not wrong because the Steam box, or the Steam Link, I should say, they said
it had a name. I'm sorry.
It was called the Steam Link, and they ceased production of it, but they said they will continue supporting it for the next 5 years.
I will give you 18 months for them to pull production.
So they dropped when they said they dropped production of the Steam Link. Valve turned around and said, "We will sell our existing stock for $2.50," and I bought it in an instant. They sold out in like 6 hours.
All right.
Anyway,
I'll still give you a year. That's fair because I kept saying a year the entire time.
We'll go for a year at that point. Okay.
I'll give you a year before it fades away into obscurity.
And within a year, if it's still a relative competitor, not a AAA competitor, but a relative competitor to everything, that's what I'm going to say.
We'll let Jess be the judge.
Fair enough. We'll go with that. 1 year from now.
All right.
So
what happens if you win and what happens if I win?
Steak dinner.
Pretty fucking easy.
Yeah.
I wish it was something more strenuous.
Figure it out then.
Fucking figure it out.
You figure it out.
Ah, shit. Well, obviously,
how deep you want to go on this?
This won't be posted for a few days. I guess on the next episode, we've already agreed that apparently a bet is being made. It's just now the actual terms.
All right.
Of what's being agreed upon.
Bet. All right.
You're gonna lose so.
No, you're gonna lose so fucking bad. Okay, let's talk about some quick hit stuff that we just want to briefly mention before we wrap things up at this point.
Yeah, it's your natural cadence.
So, first off, Dora the Explorer. We've talked about this before about the casting and the voice
I'm still
cast for
pissed
that.
we didn't get to see Danny Trejo in the trailer.
You know, we technically did.
We saw Boots go.
Maybe that's what all we're gonna get, which is gonna be a
No,
horrible.
I don't want some Alan Tudyk bullshit.
You want, Danny Trejo to sit there with Boots going, "I'm gonna kill you, Swiper."
No, that's exactly what I want. No, I want a scene where they're like, oh my god, we gotta get to the City of Gold, because apparently that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
And they're like, oh no, there's Swiper. And then Boots is just like holding
Pulls
like
up machete.
like a giant Bowie knife against like Swiper's throat, just going,
Swiper, no swipey.
Orderly Vato, I've got you. Were you planning on cutting the Vato?
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
I was not planning on cutting the Vato.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I made a Bubble Boy reference.
Yes, but your accent for that
Was god awful, yes.
Anyways, moving on. Neon Genesis Evangelion. It is a kind of a rite of passage for any anime fan at this point.
Never seen it.
Which is why we're gonna watch it. I have it on DVD. I haven't bought the Blu-rays of it.
They never made one.
Well, here in the States, they have one over in Japan.
But again, Brian did the same fucking thing.
I know, exactly. Netflix paid an absurd amount of money to get the exclusive streaming rights to this.
This is the anime of animes.
It really is.
Like, unless you're a tard, like, unless you're, like, the worst father of all time in a fucking orange onesie and a blue belt, this is the anime people think of.
Yes, exactly.
Well, actually, I take that back.
Okay.
There's Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon.
There's a whole story. There's a whole episode we can talk about this in the future, but because
Gundam and then Neo Genesis.
Up until about 2002, there's probably an agreed upon set list of anime that you need to watch in order to become a so-called true anime fan.
We've all seen those, but I'm more or less
since
referring...
then there has not been as such of a list. We'll get to that in another episode. We'll get it anyways.
That could be a whole like just episode we do. Like
that's what I'm saying in the
one.
episode. Ava on Netflix is finally arriving in its completion on June 21st. So if you have never seen this before or you want the nostalgia trip, check it out. June 21st on Netflix.
One of the main characters is Ginger, so I'm already in. Oh god, it would show up at like the rapey fucking Michael Keaton smile.
That's why they chose it. So we were bringing this up because you know our love of Batman at this point. We needed to talk about
this. He straps the bomb and Batman Returns.
I have to say that not Fandango.
The best Batman is Michael Keaton, yeah.
Fathom Events. They've turned around and provided
the best live action Batman is Keaton.
Some epic events that allow us to go see stuff in theaters that you probably normally would not be able to see at that point.
Oh yeah.
So this latest setup is we're talking about the Batman quadrilogy, marathon, allows you to watch Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin in theaters again. You only want to see the first two. I'm fine with that.
Yes and no. Yes, I would love, because it's the 30th anniversary of Batman 89. So that would be awesome.
It's also the 80th anniversary of Batman as an IP.
Yes. In addition to that, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman will always be my first crush. So that's exciting.
Anyways, so our last thing that we're going to talk about before we wrap up this very long episode is Die Hard. One of Jordan's favorite movies of all time, I would say. Yes?
You're not wrong.
Yes. And
I still think very kindly of hanging my douchebag ex-stepbrother, giving him a wedgie and hanging him on a doorknob and basically saying yippee-ki-yay to him. Look, he's a weenus. He got dealt a shit hand. That was not necessarily on him.
So to go with all of this, OP Games, which used to be called USAopoly, they created a bunch of board games throughout the years. They decided that they wanted to encapsulate what you enjoyed from that game or from that film and turn it into a board game. So introducing Die Hard, the Nakatomi Heist board game. This is a one versus many
and Die Hard
game where basically one person will be playing against the rest of the so-called terrorists, going through and trying to save everyone.
Either way.
This is an officially licensed game you can buy later on this year. It's a brand new game. It should be available probably sometime this spring.
So any day now.
So any day now, we're probably going to get notification about when this will come out. Price, I'm guessing about $40 or $50. But I, with no doubt in my mind, we will buy and own this game so we can play this.
I'm in.
So that should be fun. We have no other details other than it's coming out sometime this spring. It looks to be, we love Die Hard. It's our greatest, one of our favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Not Shazam. I'm sorry. Shazam does not qualify.
Shazam qualifies as a Christmas movie.
It does not.
We didn't get to our trailer, our review of Shazam. We'll talk about it another time.
Meh.
So with everything that's been going on with this episode, we've gone over a hell of a lot of stuff. We didn't even get over everything that we wanted to talk about this episode, but you know what? We got to cut it off at some point, or else this will be a live stream for like 2+ hours.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason.
I'm Jordan.
Cheers, Internet.